Chapter 20. If you come to a fork in the road, take it. Yogi Berra, catcha? New York Yankees. The show must go on, Mia May. Finesse dabbed her eyes with a Snowburger's handkerchief, a huge handkerchief embroidered with a giant S that Snowburger's funeral home had been giving out to the bereaved for years. Now Finesse owned one, and she used it in good effect. The handkerchief was white. Everything else about Finesse was black, all black. Even her lipstick was black. She spoke through the mesh of a black veil. She wore no jewelry. She was in mourning, after all. But 3 enormous black feathers protruded from her hat. She's a big black horned toad, thought House. She looks like a black widow spider, said Ruby. Who caught a vulture, said George. Melba stood next to Finesse, clutching her clipboard and hissing like a death row warden. Shh! Finesse held up a black-gloved hand, as if she were signaling for silence for the doomed. I am glad to see you all this morning, even though many of you are late, very late. I had every confidence you would join us, however. We have already divided some dances and skits. Rest assured, we will fit you in. But let me begin at the beginning, now that I have you all assembled. Finesse cleared her throat. As you know, she said, I was forced to leave you abruptly yesterday. One of our eldest citizens, Norwood Reinhardt Beauregard Boyd, has to her mouth for a long moment and then sputtered melodramatically. Died. He's dead, Mia May. Dead as a door now. I saw it with my own 2 eyes, my great-granddaddy's greatest boyhood friend, laying out at Snowburger's, still as death. She sobbed one great sob into her handkerchief. House and Clebo exchanged a look. Ruby blinked in amazement. Pip was Mr. Norwood's boyhood friend. I didn't know he had any friends ever, said Wilkie Collins. Of course he had friends, said Finesse. Are you sure he's dead? Asked Clebo. He's as dead as beautiful young Emily Webb in our town by Thornton Wilder, choked Finesse. She blew her nose in a ladylike manner. Mr. Norwood Boyd asked for no funeral, no memorial service, she said, dabbing at her eyes. But, Finesse struggled to compose herself. She took a deep breath. I think we are meant somehow to honor him with our pageant. House blinked. Mean man Boyd? Said Evan Evans. What are we supposed to do? Kidnap kids around the county? Cook 'em? Said Arnold Hidman. Hesitant laughter rolled around the ball players. House kept silent. Finesse looked stricken. None of these exaggerations is true, Mia May, she said, fresh tears in her eyes. These are all rumors, lies. Mr. Norwood Boyd was a great man. My great-granddaddy can tell you the truth. Doesn't anyone here know the truth about Mr. Norwood Boyd? House felt a prick at the back of his conscience. Still, he kept his thoughts to himself. Ghosts! Cried Honey. She hugged Eudora Weltley. I know something about him, shouted Clebo. He caught himself as House sucked in his breath and glared at Clebo. What do you know? Finesse was suddenly delighted. Do tell. Clebo glanced at House and changed his mind. I know you ain't even related to the man, that's what I know. Finesse straightened her shoulders. Related is a relative term, mon ami. And I know something too, Clebo Wilson. She pulled a piece of paper out of her straw tote bag and opened it carefully. My great-granddaddy was left a note by Mr. Norwood Boyd. The blood evaporated from House's face. A tingle spread across his shoulders. I wanted to keep it private, Finesse said, but Poppy told me I must share it with you all because it has meaning for our town on its birthday, and because our most famous citizen, Dr. Dan Devers, who ordered this pageant in the first place, would certainly approve, so I shall read it. Finesse took a deep breath. So did House. This note is shrouded in mystery, Mia May, said Finesse. Envelop de Misera. Finesse pointed a black-gloved finger at House. One must not read too much into mystery. Read the dang note, growled Clebo. Finesse cleared her throat, snapped the note in front of her flamboyantly, and read, I see great things in baseball. It will take our people out of doors, fill them with oxygen, give them larger physical stoicism, tend to relieve us from being nervous, dyspeptic set, repair those losses, and be a blessing to us. Walt Whitman. Whitman? Baseball? House rocketed upright. He was dizzy with the thought. Clebo scrambled to his feet. That's what I say. Disbarrier and all. A blessing, baseball. He sliced his glove back and forth in Finesse's direction, as if he might decapitate her with it. Look, me and some of the team were discussing it on the way over here, and we decided we ain't gonna participate in no pageant. We need to play our game. I'm playing, shouted Ruby. No, you ain't, said Clebo. House? But House's mind was somewhere else. In the midst of the clangor, he began to ask questions. Why would Francis have a note from Mr. Norwood Boyd? A note about baseball? Kids were talking all at once, like an organ majestic, a perfect band. And baseball? What about baseball? House began pacing. Mr. Norwood Boyd was trying to tell him something. He was sure of it. Melba Jane stomped a sandaled foot and shouted, Come to order! Hush right this minute! Oh, go stuff it, Melba Jane! Hollered Clebo. We don't have to pay attention to you. Honey tiptoed Eudora away from the crowd and plopped down with her by the hose. She put her hands over Eudora's ears and watched. Clebo! Cried Melba with indignation. Dr. Dan Devers is coming to this pageant, and your mama— My mama nuttin', said Clebo. This is stupid. I'm going to get my dad out here. Lots of luck, said Boone. Finesse put her hands in front of her, in a praying pose, bent her head, and stood silently until the group calmed. She looked up when all was quiet and said, It seems we have a revolt. Before anyone could agree with her, House said in a clear voice, No, we don't. He gestured to the ball team. We'll be in the pageant. He had no idea what it meant, just that it was true. You will? Said Finesse. We will? Said the ball players. No, we won't, said Clebo. But House had figured out something. Moves the symphony true. He knew what it meant. We can do whatever we want, right? He asked Finesse. You said it's our pageant. Yes, said Finesse in an uncertain voice. Then we'll play baseball, said House, and we'll have a pageant. How do we do that? Finesse had her handkerchief at her throat. I don't know, said House. You're the artistic genius. You figure it out. His face was hot with embarrassment, but there was a rightness to his words. So he kept on going in spite of himself. He tried not to think about the fact that he was talking more than he'd ever talked in front of people in his entire life, and that he was actually suggesting cooperating with his toad, Francis Schultz, making a spectacle out of himself and everyone else. He let his soul speak, or maybe it was his voice, or the voice of Mr. Norwood Boyd's ghostly spirit, or the influence of Pip's sad story. Maybe it was those words from Walt Whitman, written so long ago, the same words his mother had loved and sung. Suddenly, it was all connected. Suddenly, it made sense. Suddenly, he had no words to say. Anybody who wants to play ball can play. Kids scrambled to their feet, excited. Ruby hugged herself. Yes! No! Shouted Finesse and Melba, and Clebo all at the same time. Yes! Said House and Ruby together. House entreated his ball players. Your mamas want you in the pageant, he said, and you want to play ball. We can do both. Everybody wins. We'll beat them redbugs, you'll see. I don't want to play ball, shouted Honey. I want to tap dance. House scooped his sister into his arms. You can be a dancer, Honey. It came together for House. the mystery, the symphony, and he knew what he had to do. It involved dazzle and clangor, chorus, majestic, and perfect band. It included Francis Schultz, and Ruby, and Melba, and Clebo, and Honey, and Miss Mattie, his father, the ball players, the mamas, all of Aurora County, Mississippi, even Eudora Weltley. It involved baseball, a pageant, several tutus, most likely, and one beautiful treasure. The one thing House didn't bargain with was the betrayal.